Sandy lives a life. It's been so long since I posted and a great many things have happened, but I decided that I wanted to start doing videos again. So right now I'm in Chennai and it's really hot. Apparently in Southeast Asia and Asia, I think it's going to be one of the hottest summers there is. So it's very hard going out and doing things, and so I thought, you know what, might as well just put up videos about things I do in the house. I have a very fascinating and very energetic life where I do a million things at home. So today I wanted to bake bread. So I've never actually made bread and I've always wanted to. I've kind of dabbled with making pita, but I know that it's different from making bread, you know, bread. Anyway, so yeah, I wanted to do this thing where I just look up recipes and then try it, you know, and I wanted to make this artisanal bread. And everywhere that I looked on YouTube, you needed a Dutch oven, and I'm not going to buy a Dutch oven just to make this, you know what I mean? So I found a recipe that doesn't need a Dutch oven. So I have the recipe pulled up on the TV, and it's a recipe. I'll put the link down here, you know, but let's give it a shot, you know, it's gonna work. So let me grab the ingredients and I'll be back with you shortly. So I'm super excited. I've grabbed all the things that I potentially need. Hopefully I'm not missing out on anything. Anyway, I can grab it. First things first is I have a weighing scale. Believe it or not, I'm quite a precise baker. And why am I precise? Because of failures and lessons that have taught me that you don't want to freestyle when it comes to new recipes, right? So I have a weighing scale, and you can choose ounces or grams, so it's on grams. And I have a beautiful mixing bowl over here. So you are going to need flour. And interestingly enough, when I was watching a bunch of recipes, it called for bread flour, and I wasn't really sure what that was, because I looked at it in Amazon, you know, and in India here, right? And I couldn't find it. I was like, what is bread flour? And then it said that maida is bread flour. Well, anyway, if anyone out there who's done this for a while, who knows how to bake bread, unlike me, please feel free to share what is bread flour. And the recipe also calls for salt. It calls for instant dry yeast, and I have this brand over here, and I have a little mixing thing. So I have all the ingredients. So I believe the first step is weighing out the flour. She adds 390 grams of this to the bowl. So let's go. Let's see if I have enough. 200, 300, come on, 300. Oh, am I gonna have just enough? Can you believe it? It's a miracle. I have the right amount of flour. That's just a little, maybe this, we can use it for the, you know, so that it doesn't stick on the surface. So the next thing is she adds the yeast. And I have my handy dandy spoons over here. It looks like she uses, it says 3/4 of a teaspoon. Here's the thing about yeast. My yeast has been sitting in the fridge for a minute, not a minute, more for a while. So I kind of go for a little bit more yeast, you know, because I feel like they're not as active. So I'm just gonna go for a little bit more yeast. I mean, yeast can't hurt, right? A little bit yeast can't hurt. Well, don't quote me on that. That's just, yeah, don't quote me on that. So next up is you're gonna have sugar. So she added 2 teaspoons of sugar. Okay, and then she adds 1 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Okay, interesting. So 1, and roughly measuring out 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Okay, so we got, and that's all it takes. And of course, you're gonna put this and bake it in the oven. Kidding! I was just testing you. You can't just add the dry ingredients, you gotta add the wet ingredients as well. First things first is, she said that you gotta mix the dry ingredients. Give it a mix. So all the raw resources are incorporated into one another. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, where is it? Oh. Do you know, in Indian households, I don't know if they do this in North India, but in South India, because, you know, to prevent insects from laying their eggs and grossing you out, when you open them, they just crawl out of the flour to give you the heebie-jeebies. We had a little bit of chili, dried chili. Good tip, right? Like caspacid, whatever that stuff is. It kind of discourages insects from growing. The next thing you're gonna need is actually water. Now the water can't be hot and the water can't be cold. Have you not watched, but have you heard about Goldilocks and the Three Bears? You know, the water's got to be just right. Otherwise, I believe the yeast will die. You will kill the yeast. Yeast are actually living organisms. I don't know if they're unicellular, but they're some cellular living organisms. And that is what is going to work on your dough. Don't ask me about the science of how bread works. Maybe as I do this, I will kind of learn along the way. So anyway, enough dawdling about and talking. So I believe she uses around 300 ml of water. Now, because this is boiling hot, I'm going to go for 150, yeah? Okay, I have 150. And it's hot. How do you know? Because I pulled my finger away from it. I was like, okay. Here's the thing, it's really hot. So, I am going to do some science. We are going to be adding the wet water. As if water is never wet, but we're going to be adding the water to the flour. Let's see what happens. So this is a no knead recipe, like no need to knead. So I'm going to add the water. Now I'm just going to add a little bit at a time, as I mentioned. I don't know if you can see it, but you can see the dough coming together. Yeah, I think you can see it. I hope you can see it. So we're going to add, I think I'm going to add a little bit more water. From what I'm seeing, you know, compared to her dough, this person's dough, for me, it feels like it's still dry, you know. Now time for a judgment call. Do I use my instincts and add water, or should I just trust the recipe? What do you guys think? Does that look like it's coming together, but is it enough is the question. Well, the only way to answer this is for me to rewind the video and actually look at the texture of the dough. So let's go back a few spaces and see what her dough looks like. Here's the thing that was deceiving, you know, as I was watching this video and as I was, as I was watching the video and as I was doing it, interestingly enough, it kind of became, as I'm like doing it, it's becoming like less dry and more sticky. See? Is it not true? See, looking more sticky. God, I pray that this recipe turns out well. I mean, well, the point of this is trying it for the first time. And I just hope that, well, whatever comes out of it is what it comes out of. This is an experiment. This is not an expert cooking show. This is just me trying this for the first time. And that's how you learn, right? You learn from your mistakes. And also, I would love it if you could give me tips for people out there to take the time to give me some tips. So that's what the dough looks like at the moment. Very sticky. And so she asks us, the viewers, to set this aside for a total of 2 hours. And so I'm going to put this wrap on it. And then she talks about something which is called the first proofing. Okay, so finally getting my, what is this called again? Saran wrap? Cling film. Alright. Alright guys, how do I cut this thing? Hold on a moment. So I got my handy dandy kitchen scissors. Give it a nice cheap chop. Okay, this is another problem with my life. I'm left-handed, and unfortunately, most scissors are for right-handed people. See that? Oh, maybe it's just me. Maybe I don't know how to use scissors. Oh. You know, rather than making bread. Oh yeah, there we go. So yeah, but did you know that a lot of scissors are made for like right-handed people, not left-handed people, so we struggle. It actually makes a difference. I kid you not. You can check it on the internet. I'm not making up stuff. Or am I? So yeah, there you go. Cling film. Cling film is clinging to the pot. Okay, so this is like supposed to rise. So let's leave this alone for 2 hours, and I will catch you at the end of those 2 hours to show you what the dough looks like and to move forward on this amazing journey of yeast and love. I kind of lied to you. So I'm supposed to, you know, wait for 2 hours, right? I think that's what I mentioned. But then I was like, I want to bake fresh bread. It was, you know, I started doing all of this in the evening, and I was like, I want fresh bread for breakfast. So I looked at this other video, and I saw that the person had put the dough in the fridge and then baked it the next day. So I was like, why not just do that? You know, so I have fresh bread this morning. And from the last time that I was on video, which was last night, my sister was like, you absolutely cannot look like a gremlin on camera, so you better look presentable. So hence the lipstick and the dip. I hope I look presentable to you. I thought I could get away with not caring too much, but that's not happening. So I have my morning coffee, and what I did was, let me show you the dough, what the dough looks like. So this is what the dough looks like. I had left this overnight in the fridge with the cling film, and look at how it looks like. It looks very like still like tacky. So we've got to work with this, right? And we've got to take this dough and get it onto that tray. So I'm ready to get the dough on here. To be honest, I'm really nervous. I don't know what is going to happen, what is going to be the texture of the dough. Is it going to come out, you know, without fighting me? So let's just get this in onto the tray. Are you gonna fight me, dough? So I have committed. Come on, dough. Okay, success. La la la. So apparently she kind of just rolls this onto itself, you know, and also she kind of like dusts this with flour so it doesn't kind of like, I guess, stick. So like, let's just dust it liberally. Hopefully that is the way it is. And then she just takes it and then it is a rustic bread, it is what it is. So the next thing is, this has to sit on this for 30 minutes. And I'm going to cover it with a damp towel. So I'm going to cover this. God, let this bread be abundant. I have to say a little prayer. Will it work? I don't know. Because some things cannot be undone. Okay, so this is going to rest for 30 minutes. And then I'm probably going to switch on the oven around maybe 15 minutes or 10 minutes. I'm going to heat it to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. What is that in Celsius? Well, I'll convert it and I'll let you know what that is. Here we go. We have 15 minutes left. You can see that the dough is getting comfortable and rising. It's increasing in size. I thought I would show you what's happening in the other corner. So I've started preheating the oven to the hottest possible temperature that it can be. And I think 450 degrees Fahrenheit, I looked up, is 230 degrees Celsius or about, I think. So I'm gonna preheat this. And what you see in here is actually a water bath. So this tutorial that I'm following is quite ingenious. So she was explaining how the crust of the bread comes from the moisture, right? And to like do the similar thing to a Dutch oven, it's, you know, like she gave this tip of creating a water bath, you know, so you can increase moisture in your oven. So let's see how this goes. It's go time, folks. So it's time to unveil the bread. I'm gonna give it a close-up. Not gonna do anything to it. Looks a bit susmagus, but it's okay. So we're gonna be taking this. Hold on a minute, because I can't multitask. Temporarily, we're going to put it in this. Switch on. Okay, you can see the water heating away, probably letting out all the steam. Ow. Owie. Okay, hold on, guys. I attempted to be a boss and try to film and put it in. I couldn't do it. So here we go. So this is gonna go for 30 minutes. She actually said to spray the sides with water. Now, how am I going to do that? I'm just gonna splash some water like with my fingers like this. Like hither and thither. And hopefully that kind of creates a mist. Let's see if that works. And I will try to take some interval video to see what the process looks like, how it's doing. So, wish me luck! So, I've taken the bread out of the oven, and I took it out of the oven with 5 minutes left because I think it was looking too, like, toasty, you know, and I didn't want to burn it. So I made a judgment call, and this is what it looks like. And I tore the paper. Whoa, it is still hot. So I'm gonna put it on this cooling rack. Ta-da! Should I knock it? Okay, so I made bread. So let it cool, and then the true test of the texture of it is going to be when I cut it. But you don't want to cut hot bread, basically it tears. So let's just leave it alone, let it do its thing, and trust the process. Did you hear the bread? Okay, time for the cutting. This is the bread knife. Da, 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 da. It is bread, the bread of life. Come on in and look at this amazing breakfast we made with the fresh bread. We got the bread, we got the baked beans, some cheese and chicken sausages, and some scrambled eggs. And this is the bread that I have sliced up. And okay, let's give it a try. I'm going to taste the bread for you. Actually, for me. Nobody's doing it for other people. Are you ready, Jenny? This is better than store-bought bread. And I agree, entirely wholeheartedly agree when they say that. Look at the crust. So I think the first time of me baking bread was a success. You know, I was actually very surprised. Goes to show how much faith I had in myself. But it was surprisingly easy. You know, few ingredients, throw it together, put it in the oven. Looking back, there were just a few things that I think I'm going to do differently when I do it the next time. The number one was I freaking struggled with shaping the bread. I don't know why I struggled with it so much. What I should have done is I should have thrown down a lot more flour, like dry flour on the parchment paper, and instead of going so much using my hands and the rice paper, I should have just, you know, used the parchment paper to fold over the dough a couple of times, you know, just put flour, put the dough, and then just use the parchment paper to shape the dough. Next time, that's what I'm gonna do. And the other thing was, like, I kind of was confused about the baking time. You know, I was like, I took out the bread 5 minutes from the oven because it was the crust was so colored, and I thought it was going to burn. Now, when I cut into the bread, the center of it, it was just it's not raw, but it was just mildly dense. So I was like, you know what, I think it definitely needed, the entire 30 minutes. So next time that's what I'm going to do. It may also be that each oven varies, right? So we figure out the correct sweet spot for the oven. Coming to the taste of it, it was so good, and why am I saying that it's so good? Number one, we finished the bread within the day. I think it was so tasty in the sense it actually tasted like wheat, and the crust was so delicious, and we ate it with like cheese, tomatoes, Nutella, peanut butter. We ate it with breakfast, eggs. It enhances everything that you eat. So it enhances the taste of the condiments that you're using. And another thing was, unfortunately, like it doesn't have like it comes for like 2 to 3 days and then it becomes stale. So what I would suggest is eat as much as you can, eat everything and make a fresh batch, otherwise it just goes stale. And since it doesn't have preservatives, right, we're so used to having bread with preservatives, so it lasts longer, but might as well just do fresh bread whenever you need it. So I think overall this video was a success. Me trying bread, the challenge was a success, and I'm looking forward to more challenges to myself, you best believe. So that's all for now, and this is Candy Lives Her Life, and I will look out for you in the next video.